Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's part, we're going to talk about JavaScript modules and how we can use them to have our code in separate files and use our import and export functionality and kinda OOP programming in JavaScript. Modules in JavaScript can give us option to break up our code into separate files, and that make our work easier to maintain or work with our code. First of all, as you know, we have our simple index.js that we use in every part to run our code. For example, if we run our console.log this test and run our code, you can see that we got our printing. Let's say here we have some array of A1 right here, which contains number from 1 to 5. And of course, if we want to print them, we simply use our console log, and then we use our array name. And when we run, we got our array printing into our console. But think that this is a very large number of code that we have right here. So we want to maintain this array in another file. So what we can do is we create another file in our main directory right here. And for example, we name that arr.js. So we grab this array from here and put it in our arr.js. And now if we run this console log A1 right here, you can see that we got error of A1 is not defined because we have not linked these two files together and we don't have access to this A1. So to do that, first we need to export this A1 from here and then import it in our index.js. So first let's export this one. Here we have object of module right here, which is some kind of variable that can store anything inside of our file, and we can gain access to that from other files if we import that. So for exporting that, here we use our module.exports right here, and we equal that with object. And inside of our object, we put what thing that we want to export from this file. So here we have this A1 right here. And now if we come to index.js, if we run again, we can't get any result. We have to import that thing and that array we have exported from arr.js. So what we're going to do here and what is the syntax is that we are going to create some kind of variable right here. Then here we use our same kind of destructuring thing that we learned together, and we put the name of A1 right here, and here we use the function of require, and here we give the path that leads us to that file. And because these are in the same directory, so we need to use // and then arr.js right here. And now if we run, you can see that we got access to our array. And as same as this, we can have our functions too. So let's say we want to make this A1 to some function. We use arrow function right here, and here we simply console log that this is function print. And now if we come to our index.js, because we have imported that, what we need to do is that we simply run our A1 function right here. And now if we run, you can see again, we got that printing and that file is going to run, and that's not in our file and it's in this array.js. So if we want to again go to how these things work, we define our function right here, then we export that by this syntax that you see right here, that we can have multiple things right here. For example, let's say we have another A2, which is going to hold us value of 45, for example, right here. And here in module.export, we use this A1, and after that, our A2 right here. And here in index.js, we got access to this. We add our A2 right here, so we got access and import our A2 here too. Then let's console log our A2 variable into our console. And now if we run, you can see that we got access to that one 2. Now let's have some example of a little complicated thing right here. So we delete our array.js right here. We have person class file just like this here. And inside of this, we have class of our person, of course, which is going to have this constructor that if you haven't watched last part, we covered all kind of classes and constructors and methods inside of class that you can watch. And here in our constructor, let's say we have name and then age right here. And here we need to have this dot name equal to name as same as this dot age equal to age. And at the last, we're going to have our module.export to be our person right here. Now let's come to our index.js. And here we're going to import that. So what we do, we create this const and then here our person, and we require that from our per class that we have created right here. And now let's come here and let's create some object using our class. So here we use person1, we equal that with new person, and we need to give that name. So let's say this has name 1 and age, let's say 24. And now let's simply console log our person1 into our console. And now if we run, you can see that we created this object using our person class, and class of our person1 object is person, which is again in another file. And let's actually have another file of sum.js right here, actually JS and not JD. And here let's say we're going to have simple function of sum which receives a and b and is going to return a plus b for us. Actually, let's console log that just like this. Now let's export that. So we use our module.exports right here, and we equal that with our sum function right here. Now if we come to our index.js, let's import that one too. So we use this const sum right here, and we require that from our sum file that we have inside of our directory. And actually, let's have this in this functions folder. Let's move this to here. So you know how we import that. This is our main directory that we are in our JS tutorial folder in my case. And then we go to our functions folder by using this slash. And inside of this, we have our sum, which we're going to use this. And it doesn't matter you put this JS in the end of that or not. And here we can use our sum function. Let's use that below this console logging of person1. So we use our sum function, and let's add number 3 with number 4. And now if we run, you can see that we got the result of number 7 right here. Now let's get rid of this file and this folder. And in the cases that you have large number of code functions and you need to maintain them, as we're going to do in the later projects, that after this tutorial series, and we're going to have full building and coding of some systems, you'll see there that we use this functionality of modular coding very a lot, and it's going to help us maintain and code very, very easily. But another additional thing that we need to know in this module system is that how we use our import keywords right here. In ES6, we have the functionality of import, which we use this import. Then after the thing that we want, for example, in this case is this person, and then we use this from after that, and we give the path that we have. But pay attention that this is only going to work in ES6 version and not other. So if you working with Vanilla.js or Node or some other frameworks, it's better to use this kind of importing, which we use our required function right here. And we're going to cover all kinds and all things about this syntax of importing and exporting and basically modular coding in JavaScript in our React tutorial later in the channel. Please give a like and subscribe to catch next videos.